Roses are red, violets are blue. Bitcoin will pump, and the Moon Boys will goo. With only one trading day left for the stock market before the most bullish pro-crypto administration in history takes office, even the baby bears are asking their moms for extra money to buy some Bitcoin. But just how big is this really? Let's just say it's bigger than something really big. So if you understand what's about to happen to Bitcoin in the crypto markets isn't just big, it's quite literally the biggest thing you could ever imagine. Hit that like and subscribe. Get signed up with FEMX or BITUNIX below if you want to buy Bitcoin altcoins to trade. And without any further magoo, let's pump on in. With only moments before the new pro-crypto administration takes office in the US, people are starting to understand, even some bearish people are starting to understand, maybe they weren't bullish enough. And in this video, we're going to dump into some absolutely mind-numbing things. And by the end of this video, I promise you, you might need to change your bed sheets because things are not going to be dry by the end of this video. Let's put it nicely. Things are going to be pretty moist. So as of today, Bitcoin breaks a $2 trillion market cap. That's a pretty big milestone, but you want to know what's even bigger? That's right. Gary Guzler, the Guzzlord himself, who can guzzle more than any guzzler in the history of the world, is gone in 3 days. I'm gonna miss this beautiful face, said literally no one, but this is just in 3 days. It will be one of the most celebrated days of crypto history. Quite literally, I will be celebrating this more than my own birthday. I would actually be interested in starting a petition to make this a national holiday. January 20th, Gary Guzler Day, the day that Gary Guzler no longer was in charge. So there's a lot I want to jump into this video, but first off, let's take a trip down memory lane. This is an article back in January of 2016, RIP Bitcoin, it's time to move on. At the time, Bitcoin was $400. The entire history of Bitcoin has been littered with people that, let's just put it nicely, are dumb. And here we see why Bitcoin is the most dangerous global scam in 20 years. This is dated all the way back to about 2019. When Bitcoin inevitably crashes, experienced investors who believe the hype could lose everything. And now we have Daddy Fink of BlackRock gobbling up more Bitcoin than this person will see in 1 trillion lifetimes times infinity. Not only that, nation states, the most pro-crypto administration. I mean, really, the list goes on, but I just want to take a moment of silence for the haters, the doubters. It's a beautiful day. And I actually want to talk about the topic of if I think we're going to see Bitcoin, because we're seeing it rise a little bit the final few days before Trump takes office. But are we going to see Bitcoin rally massively into the administration change? Are we going to get a sell the news event? Are we going to get a day one executive order to gobble up some Bitcoin? Well, let's take a look at some more things here. We see that if this daily closes, Will Clemente says on X, my goodness, yeah, it's giga bullish. We actually can just pivot over really quickly to the daily chart for Bitcoin. We are breaking a trend line right now, and a daily close here would cement this and show some strength for this market. Now, again, short-term TA, I feel like, doesn't even really matter that much because, again, fundamentally, we have some of the craziest things we could ever imagine about to happen. We see that Senator Cynthia Lummis says that the FDIC whistleblowers claim the agency is destroying documents related to digital assets. Pretty much, and I think this is going to come out over maybe the next year. I think there was, and we already have data and facts showing this, but there was a concerted effort to destroy cryptocurrency in the US in 2022, 2023. There was legitimate attempts to strangle this industry, to kill this industry, to make holders regret ever buying. And we're about to see the complete opposite of it for the first time in history. We're about to see crypto holders actually get support from the incoming administration, as opposed to the opposite. The last 4 years, the Biden administration has been trying to destroy crypto. And I honestly am very interested to see just how deep they went trying to destroy crypto, destroy Bitcoin, prevent it from happening. AKA the banks that were trying to lobby people like, Senator Warren, Elizabeth Warren, the war senator, to try to really just strangle the industry. And they failed utterly. And now we're about to actually make billions of dollars. We also see that the U.S. National Bitcoin Reserve, it's up to about a 65% chance now on the poly market betting markets that there will be a reserve in 2025. From what I've heard, there is a lot of executive orders that are going to come out the day of Trump's presidency, that he takes office, the day, January 20th, in just a couple days. Very likely there's going to be a plethora, a massive amount of executive orders right out of the gate. If one of them is crypto related, I expect this market to explode way more than it is right now. You can see on the day right now, there's some nice upside, but I expect this to look like, barely anything when we actually see a crypto executive order. I think it's going to be extremely big for the price. We also see, look what happened to Bitcoin after Trump took office in 2017. So far, actually, this cycle has been very similar to that. And this is exactly what happened once Trump was inaugurated. It went completely banana mode. It went up a lot. And that's not the only thing going up, but Bitcoin is going up. We also see that the largest weekly bullish engulfing green candle in Bitcoin's history in absolute value terms has been printed. And I think this is going to look very small very soon when we actually see the true pump. If we look at this chart from 2017 to 2015, in hindsight, it will look so obvious. I don't know. What's crazy to me too is there's so many people around the world right now that are not in Bitcoin and they don't care about it. But in just a month or two, they are going to be shaking, trembling, oozing, ooey gooey liquids once they understand, wow, this is an opportunity. However, people like you and me have already been invested for years. The point is, there are so many new people that are about to discover something big, and they're likely discovering it right at the inflection point of Bitcoin's price trajectory. It's been around for 15, 16 years, similar to the S&P or Apple. I think we're about to see that massive inflection point, and it's similar to Nvidia as well, where diminishing returns become a thing of the past. I think that's a very likely possibility. It's something I talked about yesterday, but there was a lot of evidence in yesterday's video for it. And I just think it's the only thing that makes sense. Retail, people like you and me, we can only push up the price of Bitcoin so much. But when you have countries that exist on this planet coordinating to try to buy Bitcoin and fighting over it, that will do something to the price that we have never seen before. We're not there yet. But it could quite literally be in just a couple of days is when that fight starts. Actually, let's be honest. It already has started. A couple of countries already are doing it. But once we actually see this thing snowball into a true fight to get as much of this limited supply, undebasable currency, I don't think anyone's really prepared for how bullish we're going to get. Bitcoin is getting stronger as well, according to this RSI. 99% of traditional finance has absolutely no idea what is happening. We are very early, and that's exactly what I believe as well. It's crazy. There's very few times in life when you're given an opportunity that is this lucrative, but also this foreseeable. But the thing is, so many people do not foresee this because, again, so many people are brainwashed to think that Bitcoin is just some sort of Ponzi scheme. And again, that has only benefited people like me and you because it's just given us an opportunity to buy more for cheap. Because in the future, again, I 1000% believe that, it doesn't matter if you want to or not, you will be buying Bitcoin at some point. It's just a matter of were you buying it at $1,000? Were you buying it at $100,000 like we are right now? Are you going to be buying a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of it at $5 million per coin? It's your choice. It truly is. You pick what you want to do. But we see that bull markets consist of two stages. Feels like time for stage 2. Are you ready? Here we see this is the turbo pump mode. If we actually zoom into this chart, you can see right here, turbo up only mode. But each one of these bull markets starts with a gradual climb out of the bear market where people just think, oh no, it's a bear trap, it's a bull trap. And then it turns out it's not. And then the most vertical part of the bull market, which is exactly what I think we're about to enter. But keep in mind, I think we're about to enter a more vertical leg of this bull market than we've ever seen, because we have never had a Bitcoin spot ETF at this stage of a bull market. We have never had a pro crypto administration. I keep repeating this, but I mean, really, I think about this like all day, and it kind of just floats around in my head all day. Is like, I'm sure a lot of you do understand how big it is, but even like, let's say you hate Bitcoin. Okay, let's say you think it's a scam. Let's say that you don't own any and you think it's dumb and it's just going to go away, right? You think it's just a bubble. Even if you think that, what do you think about an administration coming in and creating a strategic reserve, potentially buying 1 million Bitcoin of a limited supply of only ever going to be 21 million in just the next 5 years, gobbling up a significant portion of that limited supply, them buying it? Rationally, you have to know that obviously the price would go up if that happens. If only that happens. But then let's say a few other countries join in and think, hey, I don't want Bitcoin being bought up by the US. I don't want the US buying all this Bitcoin. I want to buy some too. And then maybe you get 1 or 2 other countries doing the same thing. And let's say next thing you know, let's say only 10% of the countries in the world start buying Bitcoin. Do you know how many hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars one Bitcoin will cost when that starts happening? As I just pointed out, the entire market cap of Bitcoin is $2 trillion. In global terms, and in the total addressable market for Bitcoin, that is like nothing. There are companies worth more than that. If we're talking about an entirely new global reserve currency only at $2 trillion, when there are companies worth more than that, do you understand how early that is still? People look at Bitcoin and think, oh, it's already $100,000. I can't, it would be silly to buy any now. Would it still be silly if instead of being $100,000, if you knew in 5 years, maybe it'd be worth $3 million? Would you still think that buying a little bit at 100,000 would be silly if it was going to 5 million, 7, 8, 9 million dollars per coin over the next couple of decades, or even sooner? If there's a true inflection in this technology S-curve, which we already know there's a lot of evidence showing that Bitcoin's adoption is growing at a faster rate than the internet. I don't know. At that stage, would you still be bearish on it? Would you still have the same opinion? As we see right now, Bitcoin is breaking out. If this trend line breaks, new all-time highs coming sooner than you think. Here we are. Bitcoin's sitting right around 100K. If Bitcoin's at 120K in the next couple of days, are you going to be interested in buying then, but you're not interested in buying now? Are you waiting to buy Bitcoin until it drops a lot, and then as soon as it drops, you just decide, oh, I'm not going to buy it because it's going to drop lower, and next thing you know, it goes back up again and you never bought? Is that what you're doing? Also, we see California State Assembly member Philip Chen appointing a nonprofit proof of workforce to help draft pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin legislation and explore how Bitcoin can help the state. This is just one of dozens of pieces of news we're getting every day from interests across the world. And here's the thing. I personally think we were trending towards this future anyway. But when you have the most influential country in the world actively being pro-crypto, even if you hate crypto, you're making a mistake by not investing. Even if you think Bitcoin is the worst thing ever, even then, you should be able to put your ego aside and say to yourself, wow, it's probably going to go up a lot. Even though you don't think it's valuable, it's very likely this thing is going to go crazy. And then if you have even the most basic understanding of Bitcoin cycles, then you would be even more bullish on Bitcoin because we're in a very bullish part of the most bullish part of the cycle, quite literally every 4 years. And also Murad on X posted this. If the holders are inspired and truly believe any market cap is achievable, you will see meme coins that reach $100 billion plus this cycle. Now, as I just said, Bitcoin just hit a $2 trillion market cap. There's not another cryptocurrency that has a $1 trillion market cap or more. Bitcoin is the only one at this point. But I think that so much money and so much capital is going to be flooding into this space over just the next few months that we're going to see billions and billions and billions of dollars flood into this space and push some of these coins, yes, even meme coins, to some of the most ridiculous valuations. Those are going to be bubbles. I personally believe meme coins are bubbles. But I think that, as history has shown, many meme coins have died in just the last year. Bitcoin keeps coming back stronger and stronger, right? You have to be able to separate Bitcoin from garbage coins, because if you're new, people like to try to say they're the same thing and think they will always do the same thing, and it's just not true. It's really not true, and I can't, me just telling you on a video isn't going to be enough. You're going to have to do your own research to understand why that's the case. But when you come to that conclusion, you'll understand. But even still, likely these coins will dump, even if they get to these crazy valuations, these meme coins. Even still, I think that so much capital is going to be flooding in that we are going to see that. Now, if we look, here we are. This is the entire altcoin market. We're right here at about $1.51 trillion for the entire altcoin market. So it's everything in the crypto space minus Bitcoin. We are so close to an actual liftoff. In fact, let's see, percent-wise, we only need about less than a 10% pump, and we're at new all-time highs, and things go completely bananas for this market. Meanwhile, Bitcoin on the day looks fantastic, above all of our important daily moving averages. After holding at 90K, it's above everything on the weekly chart. It looks ready to completely explode, a very engulfing bullish candle. Even on the daily chart, the weekly chart is a pretty strong candle. Not a single daily close below 90K since we got above it. Not a single weekly close anywhere near 90K since we got above it. Overall, I just think it's just very bullish. I think the DXY is going to start dropping here in just the next few days when Trump takes office. And the stock market as well. Look at this today. For example, the SPX, back above its 21 and 50-day moving averages for the first time since falling below them back about a month ago. So showing strength in all markets. I think that we're about to see a massive momentum shift. And I think that anybody that's been bearish this whole time is going to be punished. This bull market is not going to last forever. There's still going to be crashes and dumps. But fundamentally, as I keep repeating, if we shift from just Bitcoin being this speculative thing to nations understanding the value of it and really competing to allocate their reserves into Bitcoin specifically, then we might go higher than anyone thinks, and we might go higher longer than anyone thinks. And one thing I want to talk about, I think altcoins are actually going to do really well, especially if we get some of these altcoin ETFs like Solana and stuff like that I've been hearing about. I think altcoins are going to do very well, but it's very obvious that over the last year, a lot of people, the people that have felt the most pain in the crypto markets, are the people that are altcoin holders that were expecting alts to have done way better by now and expected to have a way better alt season by now. But altcoins haven't really done as a whole that well yet, and I think they will soon. But I just want you to be aware of the possible trend that because of the spot ETFs for Bitcoin, which are maybe coming to altcoins as well, and the strategic reserve, if that happens with countries buying Bitcoin, it's also possible that Bitcoin just does extremely well, better than it's ever done. And that's what I'm saying about the inflection point, about the end of diminishing returns. If that actually happens, then there's going to be a short window where Bitcoin actually becomes a very profitable hold, more so than some altcoins. Meaning people are looking at altcoins to get those 50x's, and they're thinking, yeah, maybe Bitcoin can 3x or 4x. What if there's a short window where Bitcoin does another 10x, another 20x? That's crazy. But that will be the big separating moment between Bitcoin and altcoins, because there is a fundamental difference. There's no need for there to be thousands of altcoins, because if you look at CoinMarketCap, let's take a peek at CoinMarketCap. There is how many different altcoins? I'm not sure if this is right. It says here, is there over, I'm not sure if you can see it on my screen. It's saying that there is over 9 million cryptocurrencies. Is that true? I know there was like thousands, but if there's really, I don't know if this is 100% correct, but and I don't really care that much, because there shouldn't be this many coins, but if there is truly millions of cryptos at this point, what the heck? That's crazy. There's no need for millions of different cryptocurrencies. And so really the goal here, if you're trying to be profitable, is to allocate your wealth to the ones that will be around. I don't know if that's true. Is there literally millions of cryptocurrencies now because it's become so easy to make them? And if that's true, that's crazy. That needs to stop. There's no reason for that. Point is, in just hours, in just days, just moments from now, we might be seeing the craziest candles that we've ever seen. Very likely, I think, that we've ever seen on this chart. And honestly, I think that there's a chance that all of us might be shocked by how high Bitcoin can go in just the next few weeks. Now, keep in mind, there could be some crashes in between. There could be a sell the news event, whatever it may be. But overall, I think the juice is ready to be let loose. And get signed up with Femex or BITUNIX below if you want to buy Bitcoin, altcoins, or trade. Without any further ado,